The dust has settled, and YCS London 250th, the first of three, has come to a close. Don't be like 30% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So we're going to once again walk back through your top 64, top 8 here to refresh your memory here of what we were expecting. But Cash Tier had a 41% transition rate into, or conversion rate into the top 64, which was highest seeded deck. I mean, it's to be expected, right? Well, we also had 16% Runic, actually. So Runic taking over that contention spot here for the second most played deck in the top cut conversion. Then you had 13% Sprite, 6% Mathmech, 6% Branded, 5% Rika, and then we had that 13% little pie chart, which I don't know what's all in there. I expect that we'll find out more details, more about London, hopefully later. The American breakdown is starting to come out as of filming this, and tomorrow morning we'll go through and we'll visit that, but man, that is interesting. Now, your top 8 over here is where I think things get very, very interesting. 75%, or 6 of your top 8 decks, are dedicated to Kashtira. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that, yes, Kashtira was by far the most represented deck within top cut here, but it didn't end up winning. Winning London here was actually the Sprite deck here. Now, Sprite, I believe it had a Melfi package in it. I assume throughout the course of the night into tomorrow, we'll start to see those lists kind of populate here. We'll have a little bit of an idea what actually won the event, but I will say that that's actually incredible. And we also had a 12.5, aka we had 1 Runic in top cut. So your top 8 in terms of diversity wasn't the greatest, but for Sprite to overcome that boundary and be the deck that took things down, winning the event, that is quite interesting. Let's pass over to some deck lists. All right, the first deck list we're going to be looking at here is Mathmech out of London here. Now, we've talked a lot about Mathmech. Like, Small World has been the card that has made this deck everything that it is. The ability to bridge the gap, toggle for anything you want. The inclusion of kaijus in here now has made this deck into an entirely consistent monster. And the amount of plays that you can actually do with this to actually make this work, and I don't know, I think it's amazing just watching this go. I also want to give a shout out here to the 1 Pot of Desires in this deck. Don't have to worry about bricking on 2 if you just play the 1. Outside of that, I mean, we're on double Effect Veiler, triple Ash, triple Nibiru, triple Droll, double Imperm. We are stacked on our hand traps, and we also side deck 2 more Doggeron. So in the matchup that we actually need to access more kaijus, they're sighted in immediately, and we have access to those. So very strong showcase here of the power cards. Now, we move on along here. We got our second place list, which was Cash Money Dollar Bills, actually losing out to Sprite in the finals of London here. Now, this build did opt to play Crossout Designator. We've seen Crossout gain a lot more play as of late. It has dramatically upped the ceiling of what this deck can do, because you can play a little bit more passive. Now, keep in mind, this deck only played 1 Rise Hard. All right, we are cutting down on a lot of like the more consistent cards that really tend to make this deck. Well, they're not even consistent. They're amputating the dead weight at this point. It feels like while those cards can be good, they're not the value that I feel like they want. And then also, you know, thrust into the talents here for this build. Absolutely amazing. You can see your defensive options. I mean, 1 Book of Eclipse, double Book of Moon, double Lance. You're kind of well rounded out. And then, of course, see, we're citing the Gamma on the driver. That started to see a large amount of play as of late here, as this deck kind of takes back over with some of the other stuff. We have a top 64 Mathmech deck. Now, this build is playing double Pot of Desires, as per what we'd seen. This build is also playing the 1 Jizakura in the main deck. Thank you, kaijus, for being small world bridges. The fact that I can just splash these in my deck and not care is absolutely amazing. It's really the thing that just pushes it over the edge. And I will say that it is incredibly cool to see the value that is being generated because of this. Of course, Signet Mining's 1 Superfactorial, 1 Equation. Do keep in mind that Induction has pretty much been cut from the higher level list. We've seen some inductions on the regional level, which isn't terrible, but in terms of it being value, not so much. And then, of course, Gamma Driver showing their ugly little head back down here again. And we are citing the one-up pointer of the Black Lotus as well. So good stuff. Next up here we have a sprite list making top 16 here. Once again, this will be a little bit of an idea of the Splash Melfi package in the deck that you get to have access to. You get access to the Exceed. You also get access to the Synchro in here as well. We did play the one Nightmare Corruptibility. I mean, this deck has no problem seeing the Nightmare Corruptibility because I'm just bringing off of the Gigantic. If you think that there's going to be a matchup that you want to see that for, you have access to it. That's what actually makes it even more incredible at the end of the day. So I like what we're seeing here. I see that we have Drolls in here, as well as one of our hand traps of choice. And of course, Gamma and Driver starting to see a lot more play as well. Honestly, if you get Gamma Driver, it's not going to be an absolutely amazing day. You're going to pick up your cards. You're probably going to cry yourself to sleep because that's kind of the result that I've been feeling as of late for that. But outside of that, this build is very, very teched out, and I like what we're seeing here. And we also have another sprite build here, but this one is going to be your Evil Twin variant here. Now, in terms of what this build can do, you have an Evil Twin package for filtering. You have runic cards in here to get additional draw power. We have the Divine Carnate in here as well. The memes have already started on the American side of the game in the feature match with Divine Carnate actually putting in work. Like, all memes aside, the amount of people higher up that I've heard, they're like, oh no, Divine Carnate isn't good, you know, it doesn't really facilitate a lot of the combos. It's already been bought out. All right, as of filming this tonight, it is already gone, so in terms of your secondary market. See that we have Grave of the Super Ancient Organisms down here as well. That's become a pretty big staple. And of course, we're siding the Double Cross as well. You have a lot of your option trees already handed to you in this deck, and I think that that's actually quite wonderful. So in terms of top cut deck list, those are the most interesting things. We're going to pass on over to something else here. This beautiful gem actually showed up. This is what is referred to as Formud Skipper FTK. It doesn't actually FTK unless you like go second, but then it's still like an OTK here. But the way that this works is Formud Skipper, during your main phase, you can reveal a link monster from your extra deck. And if you do, when you link summon this turn, you can treat this card as link material with the same name, type, and attribute as revealed monster. And then if this is also sent to the graveyard as link material, you can add a level 5 or higher Cyber's monster from your deck to your hand. So, what are we revealing? Yeah, this beautiful little thing right here. Lightheart allows you to basically go ahead and do full combo by toggling up into the Rhinophobia, and then you start going through this, and then you grab, of course, whatever Cyber's in here that you need to do full combo. This deck is a lot of very interesting lines of play. I mean, you've got dedication through the hero lines in here. Small World's going to be the thing that bridges this all together. I do highly encourage that you check out the original profile because they talk a lot about the different lines of play in here, the different amounts of value and things that you can get based on how you open up, you know, with this deck. And I actually think that it's quite impressive when you can see a deck like this pull together all of these different value cards here and actually make things quite interesting. So for information's sake here, we have the triple Ash with triple Droll, triple Effect Veiler with one Driver, triple copies of Gamma with triple copies of Nibiru. We have one copy of Spriggan's Brothers with one Regulus. We have two copies of Stratos with triple copies of Circular, two copies of Dimeter with the one Sigma. We also have one Noblo with two Reinhardt, one copy of Acro with triple for Mud, triple copies of Value Town, two copies of Dinotherium with the one Noble Knights Shield Bearer, one Rhoda with triple copies of Hero Lives. We have triple Signet Mining, triple copies of Small World with 1-for-1, triple copies of Pyromap, yep. Once again, toggling for the Formud Skipper is the best card. We have one Rhinophobia with one Arrival. We have one Equation with triple Shade Brigade, one Super Factoid, and we have one Update Gemmer, one Splash Mage with one Lightheart, one Almirage with one Lambda, one Heat Soul with one Wicked. We have one Access Code, one Merrymaker with one Laplacean, two Alambertian, one Sargass, one Zeus, and one Omega. And then, of course, you got the one Godarla, one Delta with one Epsilon, one Thunder King Kaiju, one Cowboy, one Called By, one Dark Ruler, one Feather Duster, your triple Lightning Storm, one Talents, and triple copies of Thrust here. Wrapping up the Make Lambda Turbo, proceed to OTK your opponent with access code Talker, Update Jammer, the event. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.